KOAM Skyview, bringing you the big picture. KOAM News Now.
Joplin police released the name of a suspect wanted for a shooting on Main Street.
Another nice day ahead, but I'll have more details in just a bit.
Plus, some Joplin residents expressed frustration over the handling of campaign signs.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Lindsay Gaffney.
And it's Thursday here in the 4 states. The week is just trucking along. It's been pretty beautiful for the last the last day or so, and I know that it'll be getting nicer as we get to the weekend.
Temperatures are starting to warm up. We'll take a look outside right now. Right now, it's pretty chilly. 37 degrees out in Joplin. We do have a frost advisory for our area, and it feels like it's in the low 30s. So we're starting off the day a little bit chillier than what we would like, but winds are pretty light, good visibility. It's going to warm up, but across the region, especially up in the north, Iola 34, Nevada 39, and even some in the eastern counties, pretty chilly. We will start to warm up, but we do have a frost advisory in effect until Friday at 8 a.m. So this goes all the way through tomorrow morning. So we'll have another frost advisory for tomorrow. And it's mostly for all of our counties in Missouri and a few in Kansas. And this is just possible due to the low temperatures and the even lower wind chill values. Now, we don't have any rain in the area or in the forecast for the next several days. We are going to warm up pretty drastically today. We go from 36 this morning all the way up to the mid to lower 60s today. So we've got a nice day ahead of us, but we do have concerns for fire weather today as temperatures start to warm up. And I'll have all those details for you in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. We'll see you soon. Well, Joplin police released the identity of the suspect in Monday's shooting on Main Street. That suspect is 33-year-old Trent Cobb of Joplin. Police say he should be considered armed and dangerous. He's wanted for charges of first-degree assault and armed criminal action. Those charges stem from Monday night's shooting of a man at 1817 South Main. Police say Cobb shot a man in the abdomen, though we don't know the victim's current condition. Joplin police have released the identity of a teen who died in a crash on April 1st. The crash happened near the intersection of 32nd Street and Prigmore Avenue. Authorities say a pickup driven by 19-year-old Cody Shaver was headed east on 32nd when it hit a traffic light pole and caught fire. Shaver was pronounced dead at the scene. Just before 10 p.m., fire broke out at the North Park Apartments on East Newman Road in Joplin last night. Firefighters arrived observing smoke and flames. They began evacuating occupants with help from neighbors. Everyone was out safely. The large 3-story structure is located on the south side of the complex. It comprised 24 apartments, but firefighters were able to stop the spread of fire. Only 6 apartments were damaged. The Joplin Fire Marshal is investigating, and we anticipate updates today from Joplin fire officials. Montgomery County, Kansas authorities have arrested a couple of suspects in a burglary and theft case near the Coffeyville Industrial Park. A caller had spotted a car fleeing from a barn where a chain had been removed. Police say they found the car with the 2 suspects and stolen property inside. Charges against Robert Michael of Coffeyville, Kansas, and Jacob Lind of Altamont, Kansas include burglary, theft, and criminal damage to property. The Kansas Department of Health and Environment resigns a stream advisory for Shoal Creek from the Missouri state line to the confluence with the Spring River and south to the Oklahoma state line in Cherokee County. KDHE issued the advisory Tuesday as a result of raw sewage release near Joplin. Sewer maintenance staff determined a pressure main was leaking from the McClellan Park. City staff are continuing the cleanup process and monitoring the repair. The KDHE has deemed the stream safe for secondary contact like wading and livestock use. Well, 2 of our local elections ended in ties Tuesday. Those were for the offices of Alderman of Ward in 1 Carterville, Missouri, and a board spot for the village of Milford. In both instances, the candidates will have a say on how the tie gets broken. Options used in the past include a special election or a coin toss. Well, the Joplin sales tax proposal is settled by voters, with an issue surrounding the campaign is not. Joplin voters Tuesday gave their overwhelming support to the capital improvement sales tax renewal, but some citizens who oppose the tax are upset about what they see as an effort to silence their message. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
During Tuesday night's council meeting, Brian Evans claims his signs opposing the capital improvement sales tax were obscured and removed by the chairman of the sales tax committee, Ben Levins. In a written statement, Evans says, quote, "I had 90% of the signs that I put out, almost 24 signs, removed and stolen, as well as my signs blocked in and obstructed as to ensure that voters will only see vote yes on properties that we had permission from the landowners." Some other citizens supported Evans' claim.
I've seen the pictures of the signs. They have the yes sign, and then Brian will put a no sign beside it. He doesn't encroach on theirs, but he puts his sign beside it, and they put more yes signs and sandwich his in so nobody can see his signs.
Brian Evans has a video of Evans telling the committee to remove his signs.
There's a gentleman named Brian Evans. He has a name on his signs, and if you see those signs, our signs are all we've gotten permission from every one of our signs to put them up, so we put them up.
After listening to the video, Levins admits he removed 3 signs from private property.
I did tell all of my committee members that they can take down signs if they put up signs on your property or somebody that you know is their private property and they don't have permission to have those signs there. You can remove those signs.
Levins says after learning one property owner had allowed a sign, Levins returned all 3 signs back to Evans.
On Joseph's property, we had to leave them alone because they did indeed have permission. We did check afterwards, and Richard Joseph doesn't care who put signs on his property, so that's fine. And we left those up, as far as I know.
Brian Evans has filed a police report on the matter. Reporting in Joplin, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Joplin police confirm they are looking into the case. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. NEO Baseball played the inaugural A&M Classic rivalry game against Connors State. We'll have the details. Plus, Antony Blinken is overseas to debate a bill to provide more military support to Ukraine. And we have a sunny and breezy day today. We'll have what to expect with Lindsay Gaffney in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
We focus on the only
Come experience the last total eclipse seen in the 4 states until 2044.
Well, NEO Baseball has a special opportunity. Last night, the Golden Norsemen played the inaugural A&M Classic rivalry game against Connors State at the home stadium of the Tulsa Drillers. In downtown Tulsa at One Oak Field, home of the AA affiliate of the Los Angeles Dodgers, NEO Baseball faces Connors State. Bottom of the first, Wally Diaz launches his to the right field, and Solo Skalnick has trouble out there. A run comes home, and Connors State leads 1-0. Later in the game, NEO down 2-0. Jackson Smith hits the sharply to first. Diaz beats him to the bag, but a run scores. NEO gets on the board, trailing 2-1. We go to the 6th inning. Wally Diaz with the 2 runners on gives this ball a right to deep right field, and that ball is gone for a 3-run home run. Connors State leads 10-1. To the 7th inning, Tom Akea drives this up the middle, and a run scores, and NEO tries to rally, but it's a little too late. Connors State gets the win 12-2.
It was an outstanding crowd. Dr. Stafford, our president, is the one that really started getting this going, and he's done most of the work, and we have a lot of people behind the scenes that really worked hard to make this happen for us. You know, it's disappointing to get spread in a situation like this and a little bit embarrassing, but I love my ball club, I love my guys, and I think that yeah, we keep on working hard.
I mean, it's pretty awesome. Being from Canada, we don't really have stuff like this. And just to come out and get a play on a field like this, pretty cool experience.
Missouri Southern men's basketball concluded its 2023-24 season just under a month ago. Now the Lions look ahead to the future and receive a verbal commitment. Cooper Francis announces on Twitter yesterday morning he's committing to Missouri Southern's men's basketball. He's a high school senior at Salisbury who took home third place in the Missouri Class 2 state tournament this year. Here's some info on the newest commit to the Lions. Francis received all state honors from the Missouri Basketball Coaches Association both his junior and senior years. He's a 6'4" lefty guard, and while leading Salisbury to a third place finish in the 2024 state tournament, Francis averaged 34 points per game. The Royals trying to get this series win in Baltimore after a 5-hour rain delay. Things get started. Cole Raggins pitching a gem for KC. He goes 6 1/3 innings, striking out 7, allows just 1, leaves the game in line for a win. Royals are already up 2-0 in the 7th. Michael Garcia goes the other way. That's gone for his third home run of the young season. It's 3-0. Scores 3-1 in the bottom of the 8th. Adley Rutschman hits it down the right field line. He's thrown out at his second, but a run scores. Now to the bottom of the 9th, 1-run Royals lead at bases loaded, 2 out. James McCann lines it into the left field. 2 runs come in to score, and the Royals lose on a walk-off for the second time in the past 3 days. Still to come, bird flu is affecting a growing number of cattle herds in the U.S. We have what you need to know. Plus, a check of the 7-day forecast and the KOAM Morning News returns.
Don't just treat it, crush it with Maverick.
Conquer it with Maverick.
Cure it.
I hope everyone's having a wonderful morning. Gonna look outside out in Pittsburgh. Traffic's still pretty light right now. It is only a little after 5. Traffic will start to pick up as you're getting off to go to work and school. Temperatures across the region are pretty chilly right now. Iola 34, even some counties in Missouri. Joplin 37, Carthage 36. We actually have a frost advisory. We'll take a second and look at that. In addition to the cold temperatures, we also have pretty low wind chill values down in the 20s. We're warming up today to the low 60s, but wind chills are still only going to feel like they're in the 30s today. So we're having a pretty chilly day again today, but sun will be out, so it may feel pretty nice out there. We do have that frost advisory in effect until Friday at 8 a.m. So this is going to stretch all the way out till tomorrow morning. So if you have any outdoor plants, you might want to bring those inside tonight. Mostly for our counties in Missouri, but we have a few in that frost advisory in Kansas as well. We don't have any rain in the forecast, not until Saturday. No clouds either, so it's going to be a pretty nice day today. Starting off pretty chilly, 36 degrees, but light winds out of the northwest. We moving on to tonight, going to be sunny all day long. We may see a cloud or two, but for the most part, pretty nice. Warming up to the low 60s, low to mid 60s across the region. Winds pick up as we move into the afternoon hours. A little bit more earlier this morning, we'll see about 9 a.m. They start to gust up to 20, 22 miles per hour. We'll continue on through the day, still gusting only about 20 miles per hour until the evening time. So not too fast of winds, but it will be a breezy day. As of right now, humidity values are pretty high in the 60s and 70s percentage, but when we go into the afternoon hours, right when those winds are gusting about 20, 25 miles per hour, we'll see these humidity values drop down to 35% to 40%, and that's more of a concern for fire weather. So it's still not too hot today, which is better, but with the low humidity values and those wind gusts, it's still going to be a concern. Now, planning ahead for tomorrow, that frost is still in effect 4 a.m. until 8 a.m. is your main time frame for when it's going to frost. Otherwise, it'll be a pretty nice day. Winds shift tonight out of the northwest to the east, still only about 5 to 10 miles per hour, and the high is a little bit warmer today into the upper 60s, maybe even hitting in the 70s. We have this ridge forming over our area, and that is why we're getting these nice sunny days. Still not too warm, but as we move into the weekend, we'll start to warm up just in time for some more rain chances to move in Saturday night. We're going to have a low pressure system make its way through, have some rain. It's not long lived Saturday night into Sunday morning. A good day on Sunday and Monday, and then we're going to have another low pressure system. Now clouds move in on Monday. Might be an issue for anyone who's wanting to watch that solar eclipse, but we'll keep you updated on that. And then we have some more rain chances moving in Monday night into Thursday. That's going to last all the way through Thursday morning, but temperatures warm up, 70s all the way until Wednesday, drops down a bit, but we'll warm back up into the 70s. Now, main concern for tonight is going to be that frost in the morning, but otherwise, we have a nice couple of days ahead, and Elise will be back with more news after the break.
This is Scott with Windows for Less. With springtime in mind, so is spring cleaning. With our double cleaning the outside glass easy breezy. Give us a call today to schedule your free at-home estimate. If you want the best for less, call Windows for Less.
Topping Health Watch this morning, bird flu is affecting a growing number of cattle herds in the U.S. That comes from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in the wake of a second human case now reported. The CDC says while there is no major threat to humans or a massive spread of the bird flu virus, the agency wants more people to get tested for it. Those who should get tested are anyone who has been exposed and has symptoms. A person in Texas who tested positive last week for bird flu worked on a farm and had direct contact with a dairy cow. The virus strain taken from this person is the same as in sick cows and has been found in birds. The virus can be found in milk from sick cows. However, there is no threat to humans given most milk is pasteurized. Well, taking a daily multivitamin could help slow cognitive decline. That's according to a recent study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. Nearly 600 people were given cognitive and memory tests. For 2 years, half the group took a standard daily multivitamin and the other half took a placebo. Researchers found those who took the multivitamin scored slightly higher on the memory and cognitive test. A second study published last year in the Cosmos database found people who took a multivitamin for a year got better scores on a world recall test. Well, they're mistakenly thought to be insects, but ticks are actually arachnids, a relative of spiders, and they can transmit dangerous diseases to humans. That's why you want to avoid getting bitten, but these creatures are already out earlier than usual. Mandy Gaither has more on what to expect for the 2024 tick season and how to stay protected.
In the U.S., tick season usually peaks between May and July and then again in the fall. But it's April and the creatures are already out.
They are hungry, so they are looking for their first meal of the year, and they do pose that risk of transmitting infection.
Dr. Bobby Pritt with Mayo Clinic says you can help prevent tick bites. Check your body often, especially after being outdoors. Wear long sleeves and pants and tuck those pants into socks, giving ticks less skin they can bite. And make sure to wear bug spray.
Usually we look for tick repellents that have at least 30% DEET, but there are other chemicals, picaridin, is a very good repellent.
If you do get bitten, Pritt says to not panic. Remove the tick as quickly as possible.
The best way to do that is with tweezers that you can use close to the skin, as close as possible. Grasp the head of the tick as it's going into the skin and just pull it out in a slow, continuous motion, taking care to not squeeze the tick or breaking off the mouth parts if you can help it.
Pritt says if you live in an area where Lyme disease is present and find a swollen tick attached to your skin, consider seeing a doctor, especially if it's been attached for 36 hours or more.
Your doctor can prescribe antibiotics to prevent Lyme disease.
And be aware of the symptoms of Lyme disease, including fever, body aches and pains, upset stomach, severe headache, and fatigue. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Dr. Pritt says to avoid home remedies that could make matters worse, including smothering the tick with Vaseline or using a match. She says that will irritate the skin and the tick and potentially increase the risk of infection. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And temperatures warm up today, but there may be a concern for fire weather. We'll talk about that in just a bit.
Seven. Scan the code or go to smileactives.com now.
Right now at 5:30, Pittsburgh High's Culinary Dragons make their grill mark on a statewide competition.
And with the low values that we're seeing tonight and tomorrow night, we will have an effect for frost conditions.
Plus, an area nonprofit is giving high school students a way to say yes to the dress.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's just coming up on 5:30. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Lindsay Gaffney.
Lindsay, we're happy to have you this week. It's day 2, and you're going to be sticking with us around for tomorrow as well.
Yes, I am, the rest of the week.
How are you like waking up this early?
It's been a struggle, but
Yeah.
I am so happy to be working with you again.
Of course,
it's been a while.
yes.
And we've got some nice weather going on, warming up today, thankfully. It was chilly this morning, starting off about 37 degrees out in Joplin. Some of the counties are even lower than that. Up in Iola, 32 degrees. Nevada, 38. So we also have a frost advisory issued for some of these counties. Most of our counties in Missouri, and then a few in Kansas, especially Iola with those temperatures right at freezing. This frost advisory is in effect until Friday at 8 a.m. So we're going to have frost conditions again tomorrow. They start about 4 a.m. That's when the frost will start to occur, and then last it all the way until about 8 a.m. That's when we're going to start to warm up. Now, we don't have any rain in the forecast, not until Saturday. We'll have a low pressure system making its way through, and then we'll start to warm back up right after that, thankfully. Temperatures today, we start off pretty cool, but we'll warm up to the mid to lower 60s across the region. Some temperatures even getting up to the upper 60s. So that could be a concern for fire weather as well, and I'll have all those details for you in just a bit.
All right, we'll check in with you soon, Lindsay. 86% of U.S. K-12 public schools reported challenges hiring teachers for the 2023-2024 school year. That's according to the National Center for Education. They also say the biggest barrier is lack of qualified applicants. It's a problem both nationwide and in some districts here in the 4 states.
Part of that recruiting and retention process is we obviously need to maintain salaries as best we can. We've got to be competitive in those areas as well. Time is important, which we're seeing with this 4-day week, but we also know with the way that inflation has hit over the last couple of years, money, it's important.
According to Pew Research Center, the number of college students graduating with an education degree each year has dropped from 180,000 in 1971 to just 85,000 in 2020. PSU yesterday celebrated the school's long history. The Apple Day event celebrates the school's first president as well as the funding for the school's first permanent building, Russ Hall, back in 1903. Event organizers hope to cultivate a real love for the tradition surrounding the event.
In order for tradition to continue to exist at your institution or in any culture, it really has to have a tie to people's hearts. And for our students, there just really wasn't as much of a tie. So the hope is that by re-inviting the community to come out and be part of it and to have things that maybe are more fun, apply to a person's heart a little bit more, we can reinvigorate that tradition.
This is the longest running celebration in Pitt State history. Great to see. Well, Fort Scott High School hosted a career fair yesterday. The fair is more than 100 booths. The event introduces high school students to career opportunities in the region and prepares students for the educational requirements.
The kids to see how awesome our community is and the businesses that run it and the needs that we have in our community for job openings.
Crash and burn. Yeah, just to have a successful day and have students become more aware.
The event provided breakfast and lunch for the students, as well as a drawing for prizes. The Pittsburgh High School Culinary Dragons have something new to brag about. The team just placed 6th in a statewide competition in Wichita in their first year. The competition Pro Start is hosted by the National Restaurant Association Education Foundation program. The program teaches restaurant hospitality management in addition to culinary arts. The Pittsburgh competitors attribute their success to good old-fashioned teamwork.
But without my friends along the way with my group and stuff that we had, I wouldn't have been the best leader without them. So I do appreciate them, and it does help me out knowing that they have my back as well, and supporting me to be their leader and trusting me to be their leader.
All together, you have to work as a team to get your final product out. If you don't do it, as the competition, we had an hour to get 3 different meals done. If we didn't work together, we probably wouldn't have made it.
The 8 students on the team each won a $500 scholarship. Way to go. Well, the Forest State's nonprofit is helping high schoolers find their perfect prom dress free of charge. More than 40 dresses will be available for donation this weekend. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has more.
If I didn't have a dress that I liked, I wouldn't go to prom.
Yeah, I think having the best dress is not the best dress, but the dress that you feel the most comfortable in is very important because that's when you feel your best.
Galena High School seniors Natasha Dunn and Pacey Clifford know exactly how important a prom dress can be.
So it's always fun to just be able to get glammed up, wear a pretty dress, and go to prom and just, feel like the prettiest girl in the world.
But they know not every student has the opportunity to go dress shopping.
We have a lot of students who could use the help and or just the resource of finding a dress too. It can be hard, a lot of traveling and driving around.
Students from Galena and other area schools planning to attend prom will have the opportunity of dress shopping free of charge.
When kids are in high school, it's something that many look forward to, and many always want to have that opportunity as something to look back on.
The event is organized by Dream Center of the 4 states. What I'm wearing is one of the dresses available for donation, but there are many other colors, models, and sizes that you can pick from.
We are excited to be able to do those, you give those away to people in the community that might need them for prom.
They get nervous about not being able to find one, and so when they know that there are churches here in town or other organizations or here at the school that will have one for them, that it just makes it a lot more easier and it's more accessible to them.
Galena High School students also have their very own prom dress closet.
There's a self-confidence booster. They like to get glammed up for prom, and so if that takes one thing off their plate during such a busy season, then it's definitely important.
It's just easy for them to get one, and it's free, so it's, nice for them.
In Galena, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
What a great way to make that night even more special. The event is happening this Saturday in Galena, and other clothes will also be available for donation. You can find more information on our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. U.S. lawmakers are worried about Chinese manufactured vape products, which are unregulated by the FDA. Plus, rescue workers in Taiwan spent the night digging through rubble and working to stabilize buildings. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Proud partner of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Topping World Watch, U.S. lawmakers are worried about Chinese manufactured vape products, which are unregulated by the FDA and getting more popular with teens. National correspondent Griff Jenkins has more on the story.
Everywhere you turn, Americans are puffing away on electronic cigarettes, commonly known as vaping. CDC data shows 10% of high schoolers and 5% of middle schoolers were using e-cigs last year. But it's the Chinese ones, not approved by the FDA, that worry doctors most.
If it's not FDA approved, it's dangerous, it's a risk to your health, and I highly recommend to avoid it at all costs.
Researchers with an ongoing study discovered an alarming prevalence of illegal Chinese vapes, rummaging through the trash and streets of 84 neighborhoods around D.C., collecting discarded packages.
For every pack we found that is approved by the FDA list, we found about 1,000 of products that are not approved by the FDA.
The group's founder says the real problem lies in the import, distribution, and sale of such products.
Most probably smuggled into the USA and distributed in illicit ways.
The former ATF Deputy Assistant Director says this should raise red flags.
The fact that they're getting these products from China where they could be tainted with God knows what is concerning to me.
And there's bipartisan concern on Capitol Hill.
There's some real smoke to clear up as it relates to a shady Chinese e-cigarette company.
Senator Marco Rubio sent a letter to the FDA claiming its approach to regulating e-cigs has, quote, enabled this explosion of illicit Chinese vapes. The FDA tells Fox News it is committed to stemming the flow of illegal e-cigs into the U.S. It lists 23 approved vaping products, most of them U.S. companies. And while not all Chinese vapes are legal, a vast majority are. This one says made in China here on the side. It's not approved. Worth noting, too, China bans these e-cigs in their country to reduce young users, while freely flooding our U.S. market with them.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken is overseas Wednesday morning working on diplomacy when it comes to the North Atlantic Treaty Organization and the debate to provide more military support to Ukraine. Ukraine is in the middle of an infantry and ammunition shortage, giving Russia an advantage on the battlefield. NATO is working on plans to organize the Ukraine Defense Contact Group to help assist the country with aid. That includes medical, supplies, and fuel. President Joe Biden is expected to support the initiative this summer at a future summit. Rescue workers in Taiwan spent the night digging through rubble and working to stabilize buildings at risk of collapse following this week's powerful earthquake. Experts say it's the strongest earthquake to hit the island in nearly 25 years. Senior national correspondent Kevin Cork has the story.
The United States is standing by on the ready for any necessary assistance.
The Biden administration vowing to stand by Taiwan and help. One day after a 7.4 magnitude earthquake rocked the region, killing multiple people and injuring hundreds of others.
We certainly pray for all those who are affected.
The quake striking off Taiwan's east coast Wednesday morning during rush hour. Intense shaking leaving cars bouncing on highways and sending thousands of people scrambling to evacuate buildings.
At first, the building was side-to-side swing, and then it trembled up and down.
Officials say more than 24 buildings collapsed across the island. In the mountain city of Hualien, one of the hardest hit areas, several buildings were left leaning at 45-degree angles. The ground floors crushed. Those lucky to survive were able to escape via second-floor windows. Rescue workers spent the day and night combing through debris to find others trapped under the rubble. A tough task as the island recorded more than 50 aftershocks since the initial quake. While they worked, many residents spent the night in shelters or tents, some at one camp saying they were simply too scared to return home.
The wall of our apartment is cracked. We live on the upper floors, so we don't dare to go home.
Taiwanese officials have yet to estimate the cost of the quake's damage or how long it may take to rebuild the areas most impacted. Right now, the focus remains on finding victims.
And that's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Teeth are amazing.
That's why at Affordable Dentures and Implants, we have new financing affordable. So if you think you can't afford dental implants, think again.
Go ahead and smile.
All right, so we're taking a look outside in Joplin. Traffic has started to pick up, and we'll take a look at Pittsburgh as well. Still a little bit more quiet out in Pittsburgh. We do have a frost advisory in effect, so keep that in mind on your morning commute. With these low temperatures, it is a pretty chilly start to your morning. Up in Iola, 33, Yates Center, 37. Even in Carthage and even in our southern counties, we're getting down to the mid-30s still. So it's a pretty chilly morning. These wind chill values are not helping at all. We're down to the 20s this morning. And as we warm up to the 60s for our high today, we're only getting up to a wind chill value in the mid-30s. So it's still going to be maybe a bit chillier than what it seems like, but with the sun out, that could help a lot. Now we have this frost advisory in effect for most of our counties in Missouri, all of our counties in Missouri, and a few out in Kansas as well due to the low temperatures tonight. And this is in effect until Friday morning at 8 a.m. So when you're planning for your morning tomorrow, you might want to bring in any outside plants because we do have that frost advisory still in effect through 8 a.m. on Friday. Frost starts about 4 a.m. tomorrow. We don't have any rain in the forecast, not until Saturday. So it's going to be a pretty nice day today and tomorrow. Starting off though, chilly, 36 when you're on your way to work or school. And as you're coming home, about 62. So it's warming up quite a bit, about 25-degree jump. Sunny all day long. Winds are slow this morning, but they will start to gust up to about 25 miles per hour. And this isn't too long. We start about 9 a.m. We'll see these gusts start to pick up 20, 22 miles per hour, continuing through the day, starting to die down right around 5 p.m. and then giving us a pretty calm night ahead. But this paired with pretty low humidity values is a concern for fire weather. Right now, we're still seeing percentages 70%, 60%, but as we get to about noon and a little bit in the earlier afternoon hours, we're going to see these percentages drop down to less than 40%. Now, anything under 35% is a concern for fire weather. And with some of these gusts, 20, 25 miles per hour, you might want to keep that in mind for your day. Now, it's not too warm, so a little bit better, but still with these dry conditions, watch out for that. Same for tomorrow. It's going to warm up to about 67 degrees for a high on Friday. Pretty nice Friday, end of the week. We have that frost in effect from about 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. That's when we're mostly going to see that development. Otherwise, it's going to be a pretty nice day. Winds shift tonight out of the northwest to the east, still about 5-10 miles per hour. So it's going to be a nice day again tomorrow, and that is all due to this ridge that we have forming over our area through the end of the week. Now we'll start to see clouds roll in on Saturday, just in time Saturday night to have some more rain chances coming into this low pressure system. After that, we've got another low pressure system making its way into our area. Starting Monday into Tuesday, clouds roll in Monday could be an issue for anyone wanting to watch that solar eclipse because those clouds are going to be covering us right about that time it's passing over our area. So don't forget that frost advisory in effect for tomorrow, but otherwise it's going to be a pretty nice few days. We've got those rain chances Saturday night, but moving into next week, it's going to be pretty nice until those rain chances on Tuesday, and Elise will be back with more news after this.
Nominate your Ford State.
Family fun on checkout. Visit JoplinCircus.com. That's JoplinCircus.com. We'll see you there.
A helicopter team rescued a man who fell dozens of feet down a cliff, and it was all caught on camera. Cole Higgins has that and more in today's Take a Look at This.
Take a look at this.
Hey, don't let go, man. Don't let go, okay? Don't let go.
Rescuers from the Sonoma County Sheriff's Office using their helicopter's thermal imaging camera to find a man who had fallen nearly 60 feet down a cliff in the Golden Gate National Recreation Area.
Slide your left hand in here, brother. There you go. All right, here. Right hand through. There you go.
The man clinging to the side of the cliff was in grave danger until the tactical flight officer was able to reach him and lift him to safety.
The rescuer afterwards, speaking with them, said that that was one of the most precarious rescues because of how the victim was grabbing on and how quickly they were to letting go.
Once successfully flown to the top of the cliff, the man received a medical evaluation, a happy ending to a harrowing helicopter rescue. From a helicopter tail to a different bird of flight, Massachusetts State Police found this injured owl on the side of the highway early Easter morning. A trooper set up flares near the owl to alert drivers to please give a hoot and watch out for the little guy. Massachusetts State Police say state environmental police were able to capture the bird and transport it to a wildlife rehabilitation facility. For Take a Look at This, I'm Cole Higgins.
We'll be right back.
Now we return to Remodel, Remix.
And we're on to clips and join in the activities.
A golfer in Florida finds an unusual guest pacing around the course. A 10-foot-long alligator was casually strolling across the green of the Tontada Golf and Country Club's Palm Course on the Gulf Coast. The video captured by a golfer shows the gator making its way from one pond to another. The man says the alligator's appearance is a big sign alligator mating season is underway. It's Slurpee season and 7-Eleven is celebrating in a big way. On Saturday, April 13th, Slurpee fans can grab any container of their choosing to fill with their favorite flavor of the popular frozen drink. Fans can bring anything from hats to helmets, fish bowls, and even milk cartons to fill up. All they have to do is pay $1.99. Pretty good deal. Customers can choose from this season's limited flavors like chili mango and Fanta Dragon Fruit Zero, as well as fan favorite flavors including Coca-Cola, cherry, blue raspberry, and pina colada. The offer is limited to one day only, and fans can go to any 7-Eleven, Speedway, or Stripes location to get their Slurpees.
And starting off this morning, we've got that frost advisory in effect. Temperatures do warm up to the 60s, low 60s today. Frost advisory sticking around until Friday morning at about 8 a.m. Temperatures again warming up to the upper 60s, maybe even hitting 70s on Friday. Next chance of rain comes in Saturday night. A little bit later Saturday afternoon into Sunday morning, so not long-lived, dropping temperatures down just a few degrees. We'll warm back up Monday. You could see some clouds right around the time that we're expecting that full solar eclipse, about 2 p.m. That is, clouds start moving in due to the low pressure system coming in later on Monday into Tuesday morning. We're getting some rain all day Tuesday, showers sticking around Wednesday all the way through early Thursday morning. Temperatures cool off a bit on Wednesday due to that cold front moves through on Tuesday. But for the rest of your week, next week, gonna look pretty good after rain clears out on Thursday. Temperatures warm back up to the 70s and sun comes back out.